I got pregnant when I was in 10th grade.
I got pregnant when I was in 10th grade. My parents coldly said, "You're a disgrace to this family. From now on, you are no longer our child." Then they threw me out of the house, leaving me and my unborn baby to fend for ourselves in the night. 20 years later, they showed up with awkward smiles and gifts in their arms. "We want to meet our grandson." I led them into the living room. When the door opened, they froze. My mother's face went pale, and my father trembled so hard he couldn't speak. When Emily Carter learned she was pregnant at 16, she had imagined fear, confusion, maybe even anger from her strict parents, but she never imagined the moment that would forever split her life into before and after. That night, rain hammered the roof as her parents stood in the doorway of their modest home in Ohio. Her mother's voice was sharp, shaken more by shame than emotion. "You're a disgrace to this family. From now on, you are no longer our child." Then they threw me out of the house, leaving me and my unborn baby to fend for ourselves in the night. 20 years later, they showed up with awkward smiles and gifts in their arms. "We want to meet our grandson." I led them into the living room. When the door opened, they froze. My mother's face went pale, and my father trembled so hard he couldn't speak. Inside, the living room sat, now 20, tall and composed in a way that reminded Emily of the strength she had fought to build. But what stopped her parents cold wasn't his height or the fact that he looked nothing like the frightened child they might have imagined. It was the large framed photograph on the wall behind him, one that displayed Emily in her graduation gown, standing proudly by Dr. Henry Walsh, the director of the medical foundation that had sponsored her education. Dr. Walsh had been a well-known figure in town, respected and admired, and also, once upon a time, the man Emily's parents believed she had shamed the family before. Rumors had spread back then, cruel and relentless, about the identity of her baby's father. Her parents chose pride over truth, assumptions over compassion. Her mother stammered, That's Dr. Walsh. Why is his picture—" Lucas stood politely. "Because he was my mentor. He gave my mom a scholarship when no one else believed in her, and he helped raise me, not as a father, but as the grandfather figure I never had." Emily watched as her parents absorbed this, how wrong they had been, how much they had missed. But the deeper shock came when Lucas added softly, "He passed away last year. My mom dedicated her research award to him."
Silence swallowed the room. Her father's voice cracked. "Emily, we didn't know. We thought—" "You thought the worst of me." Her words were calm but carried 20 years of contained hurt. "You were ashamed of a mistake, but you never gave me a chance to show who I became because of it." Her mother stepped forward, tears collecting at the corners of her eyes. "We were wrong, terribly wrong, and we've lived with that guilt every day. We only hoped, maybe, we could see you again, meet him." She gestured weakly toward Lucas. Emily looked at them. The parents who had abandoned her, the people who had shaped her pain, but also part of the past she had long since learned to live without. She felt no desire for revenge, only clarity. "Lucas," she said gently, "this is your grandparents." He nodded politely, but his expression remained guarded. Her father whispered, "Is there any chance at all, that we could make things right?" Emily inhaled slowly. The answer would decide not only the future, but the meaning she assigned to her past. Emily motioned for everyone to sit. The air felt heavy, like the room was holding its breath for her decision. She settled on the edge of the sofa, hands clasped together. "You can't erase what happened. You can't give back the nights I cried in fear, the years Lucas grew up without grandparents, or the milestones you chose not to witness." Her parents bowed their heads, accepting every word. "But," she continued, voice softer, "I've spent my life trying to build something better, and I don't want bitterness to be part of what I pass on to my son." Her mother covered her mouth as tears finally escaped. Her father blinked rapidly, fighting his own. Lucas shifted closer to his mother. "Mom, whatever you choose, I'm with you." Emily placed a hand over his. "I know." She turned back to her parents. "If you want to be in his life, if you want to try, then you'll have to earn it, slowly. Honestly, consistently. No big gestures, no pretending we're a perfect family. Just effort, real effort." Her father nodded vigorously. "We will, whatever it takes." Her mother wiped her cheeks. "We just want a chance to know him, to know you, not the girl we failed, the woman you've become." For the first time since they arrived, Emily allowed herself a small, cautious smile. "Then we'll start with coffee. Not today, not tomorrow, but soon. I'll call you."
Relief washed over her parents like a visible wave. They didn't push for more. They simply accepted the fragile gift she was offering. When they stepped outside minutes later, Lucas sighed. "I didn't expect you to say yes." "Me neither," she admitted. "But holding on to pain doesn't build the future, and I want you to have every chance at a fuller life than I did." Lucas slipped an arm around her shoulders. "You already gave me that." Emily looked through the window at the retreating figures of her parents, smaller now, humbled by time and regret. She didn't know what the future would hold. Maybe reconciliation, maybe not. But she had taken control of her story, and that was enough. Sometimes strength isn't loud. Sometimes it's the quiet choice to open a door that once slammed shut. Part 2. In the days after her parents' unexpected visit, Emily found herself replaying the encounter again and again. Not out of anger, she had survived that long ago, but out of a strange, unfamiliar feeling she couldn't quite name. It wasn't forgiveness, not yet, and it wasn't longing either. It was something more in between, like touching the surface of a lake and feeling the cool water without diving in. Lucas noticed her quiet moments. "Thinking about them?" he asked one evening as they ate dinner together. "Maybe," she admitted. "Maybe I'm thinking about who I was and who I am." Lucas leaned back. "You've spent your whole life moving forward. There's no shame in looking back, Mom. Just don't let them hurt you again." His concern warmed her chest. "I won't, I promise." A week later, she received a text from her mother. Just a simple line. "We're here whenever you're ready. No pressure, no demands." It was the gentlest message she had ever seen from the woman who once exiled her into the rain. Emily stared at the screen for a long time before replying. "Coffee next Tuesday, 10 a.m., Maple Oak Cafe." Her hands shook afterward, not from fear, but from the weight of a step she had never imagined taking. When Tuesday came, she arrived early. She didn't dress up extravagantly, just a blue blouse, jeans, and minimal makeup. She wanted honesty, not performance. When her parents stepped inside, they looked older than she remembered. Time had softened them, not with kindness, but with consequence. Her mother approached first. "You look beautiful, Emily." It startled her. Compliments had never been part of their household vocabulary. She took a slow breath. "Thank you." They sat, ordered coffee, and for a moment, the table felt like a fragile bridge suspended over 20 years of silence. Her father spoke first. "We know we don't deserve this." Emily didn't argue. They didn't.
Her mother added, "We want to understand, truly, not the version we made up, the real one." Emily wrapped her hands around the warm mug. "Then you need to hear the truth of what it was like. All of it." Her parents nodded solemnly. So she began to speak, not with rage, not with tears, but with clarity, with detail, with honesty. And as her words filled the space between them, her parents listened more deeply than they ever had in her entire life. For nearly an hour, Emily unfolded the past, piece by piece, year by year. She told them about the freezing bus station bathroom where she spent her first night, about juggling diapers with textbooks, about working shifts until dawn with aching feet, about crying quietly so newborn Lucas wouldn't sense her fear. She spoke of opportunities she almost missed, scholarships she fought for, the kindness of strangers, and the profound loneliness of knowing her own parents didn't want her. Her mother cried openly, shoulders trembling. Her father sat rigid, jaw tight, but tears eventually welled in his eyes too. When Emily finished, silence settled over the table like a heavy blanket. No one rushed to fill it. Her father finally whispered, "We failed you in every possible way." Her mother added, voice cracking, "We punished you for something that needed love, not rejection. I don't know how we lived with ourselves." Emily breathed slowly. "I'm not the same girl you threw out. I had to become someone else to survive." Her father nodded, "And you became someone remarkable." The compliment felt strange, unfamiliar, but not unwelcome. After a pause, her mother asked, Would you allow us to get to know Lucas? Only if he wants it, of course." Emily hesitated. Lucas was protective, rightfully so, but he wasn't unreasonable. "I'll talk to him. He deserves a choice." Later that afternoon, Emily and Lucas walked around their neighborhood. Dead leaves scraped along the sidewalk as the wind picked up. Lucas listened carefully as she relayed the conversation. "What do you think?" he asked. "I think people can regret deeply," she said, "but regret doesn't erase consequences." Lucas kicked a leaf.
So do you want them in your life? Emily looked up at the sky. I want peace, and I want you to grow up knowing your family isn't defined only by pain, but I also won't pretend things are healed when they aren't. Lucas nodded. So we take it slow? Slow, she agreed. 2 days later, Lucas suggested inviting them for a short meetup at the park, neutral territory. Emily sent the text, uncertain whether she was opening a door or a wound. When her parents arrived, they approached Lucas cautiously, awkwardly, like they were learning to walk again, but Lucas extended his hand politely. I'm Lucas, he said. Her father's voice cracked. We're honored to meet you. It wasn't reconciliation, not yet, but it was the smallest beginning of something Emily never thought possible. Spring arrived quietly that year, bringing soft breezes and a gentleness Emily didn't realize she had been craving. Over the next few months, her parents met with Lucas and Emily occasionally, short, careful meetings with no expectations. There were no grand apologies, no dramatic proclamations, just steady, patient attempts at connection. Sometimes it felt hopeful, sometimes it felt strained. Healing, Emily learned, wasn't a straight line. It was a messy circle of moving forward and looking back, of rediscovering trust and confronting old wounds. One afternoon, her parents invited her and Lucas to a small family gathering. Nothing extravagant, just a backyard barbecue with cousins Emily hadn't seen in decades. She hesitated for days. Do you think I should go? She asked Lucas. I think, he said thoughtfully, that you owe it to yourself to see what peace looks like, even if it's imperfect. So she agreed. When she arrived, conversations quieted, some faces lit with surprise, others with guilt, a few with shy smiles. Someone hugged her, someone apologized, someone said they were proud of her. But Emily didn't come for them, she came for her own freedom. As the evening sun dipped behind the fence, casting warm stripes across the yard, Emily found her parents standing by the grill. They looked nervous, like they weren't sure whether to smile or step back. Emily approached. Thank you for inviting us. Her father's voice cracked. Thank you for coming. It means more than you know. Her mother added quietly, we won't waste this chance again. Emily believed they meant it, and though she wasn't ready to rewrite history, she was willing to let the future hold something softer. Later, as Emily and Lucas walked home, he nudged her shoulder. So, how do you feel? Emily thought about it, really thought. Light, she said, for the first time in a long time. Lucas smiled. Then that's enough. She slipped her arm through his. Whatever happens next, we'll face it the same way we always have, together. They walked beneath the sky streaked with fading orange, the quiet evening wrapping around them like a promise, not of perfection, not of forgetting, but of possibility. And sometimes possibility is all a heart needs to begin again. As for you, dear reader, if life ever forced you to choose between protecting your peace and reopening an old door, which path would you take? I'd love to hear your thoughts.